welcome. We're back here in the data center with Andrew Stammworthy, one of our Veeam subject matter experts. And kind of fun that we're here in the data center because we're going to talk about a SaaS product today. Why don't you tell us what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Veeam Backup for Salesforce, the newest Veeam offering.
So with Salesforce, obviously, software as a service product, why am I backing it up?
Well, it's a common misconception from a lot of customers that Veeam or that you don't need to back up your software as a service providers, whether it's Microsoft 365 or something like Salesforce. And the reality is that there's this shared responsibility where the vendor is responsible for the application itself, but the customer is still responsible for managing and retaining that data.
So when they talk about availability, it's really, well, the platform is going to be here to work. We can't guarantee that your stuff is necessarily going to be here.
Right. You delete something, you leak your passwords, and someone gains access that they shouldn't, or someone makes a mistake and deletes your entire database. That's not Salesforce's problem. That's the customer's problem. You need to have a backup solution in place so that you can recover from that in the event that that happens.
So we talked about Office 365 backup. You mentioned just now again. How's that going? Is that having a lot of traction out there? And do we see that the Salesforce offering is going to be another similar product?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of traction with Veeam Backup for Office 365 or Microsoft 365 now. And especially with this shift of work from home and work remote, we see a lot more companies who have Office 365 data versus on-prem Exchange or SharePoint. And so being able to protect that data, even when it's in the cloud, is critical. And we're seeing a lot of traction, a lot of adoption of that.
Now, if I'm backing up my software as a service, what am I backing up? Is it just my data? Is it, I know Salesforce is really, I think of as an application platform. There's a lot of custom development that goes on in that space. What all am I able to back up?
So Veeam Backup for Salesforce backs up both your data and the metadata. So it's protecting all of the information that you've put into the Salesforce system, but also all of that customization you did for the system. So all those custom fields and layouts and forms, that's all going to be protected by Veeam Backup for Salesforce.
So that dashboard you finally got working right is now going to be protected.
Yeah, when Joe comes in Monday morning and accidentally corrupts the database and ruins all your hard work, you'll be able to recover it and put it back.
Joe again. What can we say? So where does my backup go? So where do I back up to? Am I just putting it somewhere else in Salesforce or somewhere on Veeam's cloud or something?
That's a great question. So Veeam doesn't have their own cloud and Veeam doesn't host any of their data. Just like every other Veeam product, it's just a software and giving you the flexibility to deploy it in whatever makes the most sense for the customer. So that might be an on-prem solution, either as a physical device or a virtual device. It could be as a cloud virtual machine in Azure, or AWS, or Google Cloud. Doesn't really matter. Veeam is agnostic when it comes to that. And likewise with the storage, we give you that flexibility to either take your data out of the cloud and bring it to your on-prem environment, or to push it to any of the supported cloud object storage providers like Azure Blob, Amazon S3, or any of the S3 compatible vendors that we have out there.
So obviously, data has always been one of those concerns. A lot of end customers, in many cases, are kind of cloud averse. Do you think the ability to back up something we only see as cloud, like with Salesforce, I know in the Microsoft environment, where we move from traditional on-prem to cloud, but something like Salesforce has only ever been cloud. Do you think that's going to help with both adoption of products like Salesforce, as well as getting some of those cloud-averse customers moving more of their infrastructure to the cloud?
Well, it's a big ask for a customer to hand over their critical business data to a vendor, even one who is as tried and true as Salesforce, right? They've been around a long time. People can mostly trust them with their data, but it's still a big hurdle for some customers to make that promise, that relationship. And having this control that Veeam provides, allowing you to still retain control over your data so that if something does go wrong, you've got extra copies of it to be able to recover from, I think is going to be critical in helping those customers overcome that final hurdle and move into these software as a service vendors.
Well, it sounds like a great solution. Sounds like a real game changer in a lot of cases. If whether it's Veeam for Salesforce or Veeam for Microsoft 365 or Veeam for almost anything, how do our partners find out more?
Well, we've got a whole team here at Ingram Micro who is specialized in just Veeam. So you can contact our Veeam licensing team or our MD team or myself for any of your Veeam questions, whether it's the new Veeam Backup for Salesforce or the existing Veeam Backup for 365 or backup and replication or any of the other Veeam products.
All right, sounds like a great solution. Thanks for being a great resource.